Welcome into the Hustle Show podcast. Drew Martin, Kelly in Vegas, Adam Trigger, Chris Thurston. We're breaking it down, college football and the NFL. Come join us on the WagerTalk YouTube channel, wherever you're downloading your podcast at. The Hustle Show podcast, brought to you by Viva Tequila Seltzer. Viva, deliciously inviting premium Blanco tequila seltzer designed to be healthy-ish. Viva has only 88 calories, 0 grams sugar, 0 carbs, gluten-free as well, 4.5% ABV. Viva, enjoyed wherever you are celebrating your life. Guys, we're going around the horn here. Big game breakdown. We got best bets as well. Transparency is key. Throwing it over to Adam Trigger at Top Flight SI. We got the recap section here. Trig, take it away.
Well, Drew, this is the best recap section of the season for me because all we did was give out winners last week. Finally, we just had a show where we absolutely crushed. And now I'm real. So big game breakdown. CT Bets had Georgia. I had Pitt. You had Notre Dame. Kel gave a great breakdown of Texas Tech, K-State. But then we talked about Baylor. Chris had said he bet it. That one. Virginia plus 7.5. That one. Central Michigan plus 6. I talked about that one. I even said that there was some big time sharp money on Kansas. Kel made fun of me. That line moved like 6 points. Kansas won by $1 million. And then best bets. And now I'm like, I realize I got pulled in 6 different directions and forgot to write these down. So everyone's going to need to remind me what their best bet was. But I know Chris's was LSU. They win outright. I had Texans plus 14. That wins. Kel and Drew, do you guys remember your best bets from last week? Because I forgot to write them down.
Kel's was Iowa, and that won.
Yeah. So anyway, great week overall. I thought the show went great. Hopefully we hit a bunch of games today. And I want to shout out Matt Blakely because he won our contest. Guys, I was getting hit up left and right by people that picked Liberty all day on Saturday. Trig, did I win? Trig, did I win? And unfortunately, no, you did not win because the Michigan State Spartans pulled an upset as a 17-point underdog. I'm actually surprised there was only one. In hindsight, I'm surprised there was only one Michigan State because it's like a big name school that was a big dog. But Matt Blakely wins it. He already sent me his info. And great call here. I wish he texted me this before the game. He said, Spartans match up well with teams who don't throw the ball well. If you can throw, they cannot defend it. Thought they had a great shot. I think Matt's a football coach, so he knows what he's talking about. And he gets the Viva Tequila Seltzer with Michigan State plus 17. And Chris, I know we were going to talk about it at the end of the show, but everyone loves the Underdog contest. So we're bringing it back again this week, and I'll hit it before we go to best bets.
Love it.
Big game breakdown. We got it here. And unfortunately, Trig, my best bet was Central Michigan. So my big game breakdown was Notre Dame.
Oh,
right
there
on.
you go.
But
Central Michigan won big, right? I think.
No, I lost.
Well, I Central Michigan plus 6. I talked about that one, so you might have had the total, but
yeah, I think I had the total.
Yeah.
Okay, Drew, you were just a week early. I'm on them tonight. I laid 2.5 for anybody wanting some action before that one kicks off. Not my play, just sharing. Not sharp action. Didn't move anything crazy. Just letting you guys know I'm tailing a good friend of mine who laid 2.5.
I forgot one thing, but I do agree with you on Central Michigan, I think, but I forgot to recap the CEO, the owner of Viva Tequila Seltzer, Steve Thurston.
That's right.
Gives us another best bet winner last week. I think it was Coastal Carolina.
Yep.
He's now 2-0 on the show. So I said, Chris, we need a Steve Thurston Viva Tequila Seltzer best bet again to kick off big game breakdown. So Chris, what is the CEO of Viva Tequila Seltzer on?
He gave me a 2-second write-up. He says, Clemson falls apart. Take Louisville. They win on the field plus 7.
I like the analysis. Falling apart.
There you have it. Kick the show off with a pick there. He's looking to go 3-0 and stay red hot.
I agree with that, actually. I like Louisville, too.
All right, Trey, get into your big game breakdown.
All right, so big game breakdown for me. I'm going to the NFL. I can't believe the Bears are favored by 3 here. Listen, they played hard, and I love Justin Fields. Like, I think he's done an absolutely tremendous job with no talent around him at this point. But I just can't justify the Bears being a 3-point favorite. I have to go against that. The Bears have their offensive line is terrible. They're trading away their best defensive players. So now I mean, they have very little pass rush. No Quinn, no Smith. Their secondary is atrocious, and the Lions are getting healthy. And I don't know if the Lions will be a play on for me going forward, guys. But I'm certainly willing to play against the Bears as a favorite and getting a key number of 3, assuming that's what it still is, which I saw before the show. I'm certainly willing to play against the Bears as a favorite with a Lions team that is getting healthy. So big game breakdown for me. Detroit they were real banged up early in the season. They lost. I know, Chris, the Patriots embarrassed them. They had a bunch of guys out against the Seahawks. They looked a lot better last week against the Packers, and I think they're going to continue on that upward trajectory, at least while they're playing teams that are lesser than them, which I consider the Bears to be. So Lions +3, big game breakdown. What do you have, Kel?
Okay, well, I know Trig hasn't watched bet on it. I know this is big game breakdown. I don't want to steal your thunder. Bears best bet this week. Packers, injury riddled. Detroit, worst defense in the league until last week. Now it's the Packers defense. Justin Fields is as good as advertised. You know what he did to that New England defense, that same New England defense that me and CT Bets just saw in person. Bill Belichick has one of the best defenses in the league, and he absolutely carved them up. You know what he's going to do? He's going to run. He's going to pass. That offense is going to stay on the field. The Bears are going to cover that one. Still 2.5 at 1, 2, 3 shops. Lay the 2.5. I agree with Trig at 3. We may be a little bit overblown here. I am not going to bet Jared Goff on the road in a divisional game, 1-6-1 against the spread in their last 8 tries in Chicago. Sorry, Trig. Good big game breakdown, buddy.
Hey, listen. Hey, sometimes we're going to be on opposite sides. Specifically, the Lions have gotten healthy on defense. I think they are going to bring the heat on Fields, and I think he's going to have a harder time when he's under pressure. That's where I think the Lions end up winning this game, and we'll see. Kel, I mean, do we have to have now we're head-to-head, I feel like we have to have some sort of bet on this. I don't know.
Well, while I think it's CT, I don't have the rundown open. It's CT's turn to give out his big game breakdown. You think of something for a little side bet action. Right. Or jump in the comments. If you guys have something fun for a little head-to-head here with me and Adam, tell us how you think we should settle the side bet.
Love it. All right. Well, I'll give my big game breakdown here. And Drew, I'm going to head to the Big Ten on Saturday in a 3:30 Eastern matchup. And that's the Wisconsin Badgers at the Iowa Hawkeyes. This Iowa team, it was a team I was really high on the start of the season. I gave them out over 7.5 wins. Still have somewhat of a chance here. They got to win out to cash that. But I was a little wrong here. I knew what we would get with the D. But I thought the offensive firepower would have been better than what we've seen. Both these teams, they both on a 2-game win streak and somehow both still alive in that there's like a 4-team logjam in the West here. Everybody's 1 game behind Illinois, and that's due to the fact that the Illini lost to last weekend at home to Michigan State, like Trigger was earlier saying. Wisconsin, they've been much better since firing Paul Chryst. They've gone 3-1 with new head coach. But on the other hand, the Hawkeyes, they've been much better as late as well. They've rattled off 57 points in the last 2 games, when at the start of the season, the offense was absolutely anemic and they couldn't do anything. Last weekend, we saw freshman running back Caleb Johnson. He carried the ball 22 times for 200 yards, 1 touchdown last weekend versus Purdue. And I think Coach Kirk Ferentz will use him again this weekend in a ground and pound, grinded out type game. I just trust Kirk Ferentz here and his defense at home this weekend to get the job done, become bowl eligible. The place will be rocking, and interim coach Jim Leonard will be in for a rude awakening and his second loss of the season. CT, play on the Iowa Hawkeyes +1.5.
All right, on the Hawkeyes, CT bets there. A little defensive battle. Keep it close. We got Louisville and Clemson again. I know Steve Thurston jumped on it. I'm with them. I think Louisville riding under the radar, guys. Winning 4 straight games. Let's not forget about the Louisville side of things. This isn't the same team at the beginning of the season, playing good defense, catching 7. Wheels are falling off this Clemson bus. Went up against them in last show in the big game breakdown. Going up against them again, from the Irish to the Louisville Cardinal. Let's go Louisville. My big game breakdown. Trend is our friend, and Louisville has been a money-making trend. So is that everybody's big bet, Kelly? Are we good there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
I'm with you guys on Louisville. I love these these bubble burst type games. I gave out, not going to give out my best college bet because I need you guys to go watch that show. No Joe Ranieri tonight. Unfortunately, he is kind of getting pounded and not in a good way by Hurricane Nicole. So we're afraid that he may have some power/internet issues. He did give out Ole Miss first half. He thinks that Bama bubble burst scenario. And that is exactly why I agree with you guys with Louisville as well. There's a couple other bubble bursts that are on the map here. But I asked Trig, I texted him, and I just got stiffed. There's quite a few dogs that I like this week, but I think I got to go with this one. He, excuse me, he didn't reply to me. But this is a team I went against last week, and I got Cristobal. That's right. The FSU Seminoles. Mike Norvell has this team clicking on all cylinders. They just beat in-state rival Miami, who basically didn't even show up to the game. Now you've got a Cuse team who's been brought back down to earth since their bubble burst game versus Notre Dame. And I like them here in this spot, catching a touchdown at home. The Orange have been one of those teams that I think kind of flew under the radar, then was on everyone's radar because Notre Dame was so bad. And now we're back to thinking they're irrelevant. Trig, I'd love for you to chime in here because I text you and you just left me on red.
Sorry, I think I was on the phone with Chris. I did not mean to leave you on red, but I agree with you. Listen, it's going to be about the health of the team for me. They've been really banged up the last couple weeks. But I do think they're going to get some guys back. And yeah, that's probably too many in that situation. So I would lean with you with the Cuse. Kel, the Dome has been.
Don't you read the comments? The comments are like literally like she hates being called Cal, and you call me Cal 45 times a show.
Oh well, now I mean, yeah, I might keep it going now. Should I just had a side thought. Looked at Paco Healy's comment. I don't know if Mallory would be upset about this. Should I put the time of the year for the wedding on the line in Bears Lions? If you win, it's got to be in the summer. If I win, yeah, I think we're gonna do it. I think we should do it.
I think that's a great bet.
Yeah.
If the Bears are we doing 3 or are we doing 2.5?
3, because then if it lands 3, we can just go about our business. You know.
Okay, I'll give you 3. I'll take the Bears -3. You have the Lions.
I'm sure she'll be thrilled about this. Yeah.
If the Bears cover the 3, so if they win by 4 or more, I get to pick the wedding date.
Okay. Yeah,
that's never gonna happen. Like it's out of your guys' hands. She's not gonna allow that, is she, Trey?
She's probably not, but I saw what Paco said and I thought it was pretty funny.
There's no way she's going to allow that. She is going to murder Trig.
Probably.
She's got to marry him first so that she can get his insurance money. So she probably actually would allow me to use the date.
I was hoping we would never talk about this ever again, and yet here we are again. Yeah. So, Drew, keep it moving.
Blame Paco Healy. Don't blame me.
My God.
Paco brought it up. It's all right. Paco's our boy.
Not nearly as long as last time. I think the viewers will forgive us, and we apologize ahead of time. We did have a bunch of people reach out on Twitter, which we love, at the Hustle Show Pod on Twitter, at Kelly in Vegas, at Top Flight SI, at CTBets16, at Drew Martin Bets, in terms of asking questions about different games on the college football and NFL board. So I know that there was a lot of different opinions out there. I mean, TCU, one of them, College Game Day going there against Texas. I don't know. I'm not stepping in front of this Horned Frogs. I'm really not. Sonny Dykes got it rolling. It's TCU or pass for me. I know it's on the road in Austin. Big 12 conference heavy kind of panel here. I didn't know what you guys thought of that or any other games that they shouted out on Twitter, guys.
Yeah, I'll chime in really quick. TCU is going to be the squarest dog on the board this week, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. We've seen square dogs win before. Tennessee, most notably over Alabama. Listen, it's Austin. There's not some great environment there. Steve Sarkisian, terrible as a favorite. Just absolutely dreadful. So this is a spot where I'd love to take the Horned Frogs, but I have a lot invested here. I went ahead and canceled my flight to Dallas for the Big 12 championship game. So that means TCU is going to beat Texas. K-State's going to beat Baylor. And somehow K-State is going to get into the Big 12 championship game, and I don't have to pay 3x the price of the flight that I had just canceled. How's that for a handicap?
I like it. It brings in like off the field stuff.
This is what I said to CT Bets. I had a fucking conniption in Boston. I said, of course they're going to lose to Baylor. Of course they're probably going to win at West Virginia, and then they're going to lose to KU. Just icing on the cake. Don't get to catch the regular season win total. Just completely flush the entire season down the toilet. That's what life is like as a K-State fan.
We got a little K-State Baylor coming up in just a minute, guys. But any other Twitter action, CT or Trig, you guys want to throw
What
out?
was the other games that they asked us to do, Trig?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now, and I was trying to text one of my Syracuse guys to get
Okay, we
as
got
much info as I could.
Vegas versus Indy, Trig versus Tequila Shots,
Oh, yeah,
TCU
that's
versus
Danny.
Texas, Kansas
Well, first
State.
of all, Drew, that's
Yep.
Danny Dimes. He wants to know Indy. So Danny Dimes and I are going to get the contest winnings this weekend, and we're going to Raiders Colts. I gotta admit, Drew, when 5 weeks ago when we planned this, I kind of thought that this was going to be a little bit of a bit, not a big game, but I didn't think it was going to be like the two, just two disasters facing off against each other. And now, I don't even know what to do here, but I do know that the Colts just fired the head coach, and it's typically an angle I like to kind of back. So I saw that spread is very high in favor of the Raiders. I think we're at like 6 or something like that, maybe 6.5. So that's one where I'm going to be in a stadium full of Raiders fans, probably hanging out with Raiders fans, but I might be, I'll be like Kelly from last week with all the Pats fans, but I've got money on the Colts. That might be me at the Death Star on Sunday. I think I like the Colts.
Okay. What is to like about this team? I watched them. Sam Ehlinger is everything I said he was going to be in the NFL, and I know I just touted that Patriots defense, but my God. And then Josh McDaniels, they are going to throw him off the top of the stratosphere if he loses this game. Literally. Las Vegas is already done with it.
But do you think that's outrageous that they're laying 6, though? I mean, that's who's are you trying to just lay a touchdown?
Are the Colts going to score? Are the Colts going to score actual points?
It's tough. I mean, both teams are in such disarray right now. I don't know. It's an interesting one for Sunday, though. As far as Trig versus Tequila, I was not a tequila guy. I used to just tequila used to make me black out. But then I started drinking Viva Tequila Seltzer, and I've become much more of a tequila sort of person in the last year or two. So I don't know if we'll be doing shots. We'll see. I'm sure Danny Dimes will want to do some shots.
Just pour the shot into the Viva. Then it's
the loaded Viva. The Drew Martin special.
That's the way to go. Special. I was the same as you, though, Trig. I never drank tequila in college or right after college until I started sipping on a little Viva, and then it just goes down a little bit smoother, guys. Viva tequilaseltzer.com. Any other games? Did any of those kind of pique your interest? We got Auburn and Texas A&M as well. I can hit that, but want to give you a chance if you liked any other.
The other one I wanted to hit was, I think this is an intriguing game. North Carolina at Wake Forest. Wake is a team I had over 7.5 wins prior to the season. They kind of looked great, standing 6-1. They've dropped their last 2 here. I think this North Carolina team is going to kind of come back to life. And I think Sam Hartman is going to finally, kind of snap out of it, get things going here. And I like the Demon Deacons at home this weekend. I'll lay the short number there, Drew, against North Carolina. I think if North Carolina, they have a chance to, with the way things just shook out last weekend with Clemson losing, if they went out, they have a shot, maybe to even talk college football playoff. I don't see this North Carolina team going to the college football playoff or winning the ACC championship. I think they get a loss here this Saturday, and I'll play Wake Forest here.
Okay. Like it. ACC breakdown. The other game, Auburn being a favorite from WT8. Appreciate you reaching out on Twitter. I like it, guys. Now, granted, I'm an Auburn alum. Want to throw that out in the beginning, but -1, as high as -1.5 right now. It's getting bought up. It looks like a 0.5 point. Hosting Texas A&M, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 local time in Jordan-Hare Stadium. Look, Auburn's 3-6. I believe Texas A&M is as well. So the loser here is going to stay home at bowling. But Auburn's likely not going bowling anyway because they got Alabama at the end. But who knows? Cadillac Williams took over as the head coach, and they came out with some fire. To tell you the truth, I thought they should have won the game against Mississippi State. I really do. I think we got kind of shafted there. But now going up against Texas A&M and all of their problems, quarterback issues, the whole bit, I think Auburn's the better team. I think momentum's on Auburn's side, and they're at home at night. It's a tough place to play. I think Auburn's the side. I really do, guys. I know you could throw darts all over that analysis because they're my team, but hey, it is what it is. I bet them. I like Auburn this weekend. So thanks for the question with there, guys. And I know we got Baylor and Kansas State, kind of a hefty breakdown coming up right now. And that's actually going to be my best bet. So I'll throw it over here. We got Kelly in Vegas.
Wow.
Your
CT bets
best
going
bet,
to the game.
Drew Martin?
Yeah, but I want to hear your guys' analysis.
Mid-show.
Yeah. And Kelly,
I already gave you my analysis. I already told you exactly what's going to happen. Don't worry.
But are you going to this game for real? Because I thought there was some talk of you kind of canceling it.
No, I want it. Why would I want to go to Waco, Texas? Have you ever been to Ames, Iowa? Now go south. That's what Waco, Texas is.
Waco's fun. Chris and I had a blast in Waco. Waco's cool.
More, okay?
It's going to be a great time. You are like Debbie Downer about everything. So it's going to be great.
K-State they are so miserable right now. I sat in CT's kitchen by myself because they were watching Bruins Leaves and some other game in CT Sportsbook. And it took every bone in my body not to break his television.
Well, I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game here. It's going to be one of those grinded-out games. Last week, the freshman Reese, he had the flu. He's the running back for Baylor that has been running wild all year long. And backup running back Squirrel Williams said, no Reese, no problem. Let me take over. And he dominated the game and ran right all over OU. So I think Reese is going to be back this weekend. So they'll have the 1-2 punch going again. Dylan Doyle, he's been an absolute beast on D. He had 15 tackles last week and 1 on 4th down. And then also got a first down on offense as well, playing both sides of the ball. Tied for Big 12, second in the Big 12 now. And, this second team to get to the Big 12 championship, it's kind of wide open right now. It's kind of wide open. So we'll see. 2 good coaches going against each other. Saturday, it's going to be a blackout. I'll probably be blacked out. So really looking forward to it, Drew.
You're supposed to be on your best behavior because Aunt Ellen's going to be there.
Right. Yeah. No, I definitely will. And plus, we got to take care of Uncle Bozo. Brain will be with us. Uncle Benny.
Oh, good God. Yeah. His dog just got here. I can't wait to meet him. It's going to be a really fun day. I'm glad it's a night game. I'll say that much. That gives us all day to watch the other games. Because otherwise, I'm just going to be like I was on Sunday, and I'm just going to be on my phone the whole time checking other scores. Though I will say Gillette has a nice little ticker that keeps going around. So it was really nice not to have to sweat that Bears winner because I heard I got very lucky in that one. So excited to spend the weekend in Waco with CT, his wife, my aunt, Uncle Bozo, and meet some new friends down there. It should be a great time.
Yeah, Drew, before we get to big bets, I just want to go on top of that. So we'll be down in Waco, right? We're going to go down to George's, which is if you're down in Waco in the Dallas area, you know what that is. It's a great bar. We'll be pre-gaming there and watching all the afternoon games. I've already got hit on Twitter from a couple of Baylor guys. Doesn't matter. Baylor guys, Kansas State guys, if you're just a Big 12 guy, you want to come down, have some drinks on us. Would love to shoot the shit with you. Come and
wait, did we get Viva to George's?
We don't have it to George's, but we're gonna have it with us on the car ride down, and before we go in. So if you haven't had a Viva, we'll have it in the car. We'll hook you up with one. And come.
I just am like wheeling the cooler down, whatever that. I forget what that road is. He knows what it's called. And I'm just like handing out Vivas to random. I'm like, oh, you have another seltzer here? Let me give you a better one. I'll trade you. You're welcome.
Drew, I got one quick. I totally forgot about. I'm going to be at Penn State, Maryland on Saturday. I got like a crazy stretch of like going to games coming up here. And
that's a good game.
Yeah, so I took Maryland plus 11 earlier in the week. That's like it's not like a best bet for me or anything, but I obviously have to have some live action at the game. I think Maryland just got in. They played really bad in bad. That's not a bad weather team. And as far as right now, like there's going to be some weather this weekend, but it doesn't look like, as of right now, it looks like Penn State, the weather's going to be okay there on Saturday. So like Maryland, they just couldn't handle the weather against Wisconsin. That's just not like that's much more of a Wisconsin favoring scenario that they were in last week. Obviously they got killed. I like Maryland to hang around. I think they're going to hang within the number with Penn State. It's just a big number in my opinion.
That'll be a lot of fun to go to there, Trig, as we got best bets coming up. We also got some questions here in the actual chat box, guys. So a huge shout out to everybody joining us live and throwing out these questions. Paco saying what his favorite is, what Huckleberry and Hornitos. Actually, Hornitos is a pretty good mixer there for tequila. That's good stuff, Paco. And we got a question here about Washington Huskies plus 13.5 in Eugene, Oregon. Good question, Chad. I mean, Washington, speaking of like bad weather teams, they're not really a good bad weather team. And last Friday night, they played in some bad weather just because they're the number one passing team in the country. So obviously bad weather is going to affect them a lot. Trying to check the weather here in Eugene, Oregon, they're going up against the Ducks. And as long as it's pretty clear weather, I mean, I think plus 2 touchdowns is, probably the look I would go. I wouldn't go against it. I wouldn't lay the 2 touchdowns against Washington. Does anybody else have an opinion on that one or any other game other than your best bet?
Yeah.
Drew, sorry, go ahead.
So I'm kind of with you, Drew, on that. I wouldn't want to lay it with Oregon, but that Washington D is just awful, and they just get shredded. And if there's one team that likes to go high octane offense and that could shred them, especially at home in Eugene, it's the Ducks. And you could just see them getting one of those, Lanning likes to score at will and keep scoring. So that game just scares the shit out of me. That will be a no play for me.
Yeah, it scares the shit out of me too. And that's why I'm considering putting in my parlay. Oregon doesn't have a pass defense. I know that Drew just mentioned the weather, and that is a note. This is a team that I'm considering to look to see if they can win outright. Bo Nix, no disrespect to the Auburn grad on the panel here. Bo Nix has really superseded expectations this last few games, and that's great. But there's a lot on the line now. Everybody doubted Oregon after losing that first game to Georgia. Now all of a sudden, everybody's ready to give Oregon the Pac-12 trophy. And I would not be surprised to see this be a lot closer. I agree with Chris, though, that defense for Washington is probably what's going to keep me off betting them on the road with the chance to win outright in Eugene.
Like the breakdown there, Kelly. And yeah, I guess, CT, I thought you made a great point, man, in terms of their defense. And Kelly, to your point, it's no offense whatsoever, Bo Nix. I mean, his athleticism makes him a lot better quarterback in the Pac-12 than it did in the SEC West, just because the caliber of defenses he's going up against, the defensive line in particular, it makes his athleticism kind of shine more. And that's when he's a better quarterback. So it makes total sense to me. And now that I'm thinking about it, going back to the original question, I might not be on Washington. In fact, I could see this being really high scoring. And I know it's a high total, but it's 72. What about that over? And it looks like pretty good weather here, just 9-mile-an-hour winds, although 34
they are
degrees.
announcing the look ahead is good weather. See, that's where I kind of wonder, just because I mentioned Oregon's pass defense is terrible and Washington's pretty good at throwing the ball downfield. I think this looks like a really good knockout type of game, shootout scenario. But you're right, it'd be really tough ask to get the Huskies to win the game outright.
All right, guys. Sweet James Jones, best name on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. San Diego State plus the points. If anybody has anything on that, and Carrie on tonight's lame matchups. I don't know if I'd call Maction lame. We did talk about the Chippewas at the top, and Kelly brought up something, and she said not sharp action or anything. Actually, Kelly, I think it is sharp.
Yeah,
the Chippewas. They were pick 'em, and now it's 2.5. I mean, that's almost a field goal move in what, 12 hours here.
Again, not my play, just sharing. I could probably get in trouble for doing that, but I won't. So you guys are welcome.
It's a good. I agree. I agree, Cal. I mean, I think it's the right side there, but again, I want Carrie W has been watching our show since last year, since the beginning. I was going to shout him out in best bets because he asked a question about weather last week, and I'm going to tie that into my best bet. But he also just asked in the chat, why are people not talking about Liberty? And Carrie, I might go against him this week. I don't know. That's a tough one, but they are playing UConn. I'm looking for an actual number right here, but going on the road and laying 2 touchdowns after you just beat Arkansas at noon in West Hartford, Connecticut, or wherever
I thought they were in stores.
They are, but the football stadium is not.
Yeah, Chris, no, I forget he's from Connecticut.
Yeah, that is just. That's just, I don't know. I'm trying to make a case for UConn. I will say this. There is not a chance that I would lay Liberty -2 touchdowns there. And I did hear that's one of the games that could have some weather. It's yet to be determined, but there could be some weather for that Liberty UConn game.
I love that some of the people in the chat. So this is what the difference between StreamYard is and then the program we traditionally use with Joe is that you can see all the comments. We have guys just go. I think it's hilarious. We got a guy singing Indian Outlaw about, but it's not even like it's okay. Anyway, I'm just cracking up at the comments because I usually don't ever see them, so they don't distract me. But right now, I'm just completely enthralled with this side of the screen.
Hey, Kel, we got I got one of the Baylor grads and fans of our show who reached out to me who was going to meet us. He's Matt Rogers. He says in the comments here, KS State and Baylor are combined 14-4 to the over. So I don't know. That's a little tidbit.
Yeah, I said last week, sitting in your extra bedroom about the Texas game and K-State going under. I said, but I'm not touching this under. K-State's offense has really caught fire this year. Traditionally, they've been an under team. Even Baylor over the last few years has been a really great over team. Yeah, I would not take this under in Waco. That is for damn sure.
I agree.
How good is the bet? How good is the bet in that extra bedroom? Considering
I didn't really sleep for 4 days, that's a great question. I did finally get to sleep on Monday morning until Chris yelled through the door what kind of bagel I wanted.
See that? Always taking care of her.
I do appreciate that.
All right, guys, we got best bets coming up. Good show, good quick show with a lot of analysis on the games. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please smash that like button on the WagerTalk YouTube channel, wherever you're downloading your podcast at The Hustle Show Podcast. Feel free to comment below. Any questions, fire away. What you're betting, all is welcome. And the chat is definitely fire. No doubt about it. Appreciate each and every one of you. We got to go around the horn here. Best bets and final thoughts. We also got a contest winner. Maybe a new contest. I'm not really sure. That's up to CT Bets and Adam Trigger. Trig, what do we got, man? I'll throw it over to you. Best bets, final thoughts.
Yeah, so new contest for this week. But, Drew, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. Everyone loves the Underdog contest, so run it right back. Matt Blakely won last week. We'll do it again this week. Biggest Underdog outright winner. Guys, I say this every week. Don't pick a 4-point dog. Like one of these double-digit dogs wins every week, and someone has it. So take some shots. Biggest Underdog winner outright based on the point spread. So last week it was Michigan State plus 17, which was good for us because like a million people took Liberty, and we would have had like all sorts of tiebreakers. But Sparty got it done, gave us one winner. So again, retweet this show link, or when I post it later in the week, you can retweet that link. The rules: follow The Hustle, follow Viva Tequila Seltzer, and make sure you're following Wager Talk. And we'll go biggest Underdog winner and the total of the K-State Baylor game that Matt Rogers thinks is going to have a million points. So nice Kel and Chris will be at that game. We'll do the total number closest to the pin. So it's just total number of points in that game. That will be the contest for this week. And what else did I want to say? Oh, if you're looking for some college hoop action, I gave it out on the college hoop show earlier. Didn't make it. It's really more just a lean for me. That I like Wright State +4. I think they can hang around with Davidson. And Drew, my best bet, like I said, Kerry W, loyal fan of the show. He's been watching since the beginning of last year. He said, Trig, talk about the weather in some of these games this week. Yeah, there's going to be some wind, specifically in Big Ten country. It looks like Illinois, Purdue, Michigan, Nebraska, and Iowa, Wisconsin could all be getting close to like 20-mile-an-hour winds for the game, or wind during the game. The game I wanted to, that is my best bet, CT already did a great breakdown of it, but I actually think, so Iowa and Wisconsin both played well in the weather last week, but Wisconsin kind of got a gift. Like Maryland is not the type of team that can go into that weather and play well. So I just am not buying Wisconsin's performance last week. I am buying Iowa. I think Iowa's the right side there. CT already broke it down. So Drew Martin bets my best bet for the show is Iowa Hawkeyes on Saturday. I think they get it done and win their third straight game. Little bounce. If they don't blow Illinois and Iowa State, which they both lost like 10-7 and 9-6, that's a 7-2 team right now. Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yep. There you go. I like it.
Guys for Trig. We got KIV, Kelly Stewart at Kelly in Vegas on Twitter. Check her out, Barstool Sportsbook. She does money shots with Megan Making Money on the YouTube channel. Also bet on it here on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. Kelly, final thoughts. Where can people find you? Anything else? Best bets.
Yeah, this is kind of tough because I mentioned I lean Syracuse. I'm looking for them to win outright. Washington, my best bet already on Bet On It. So you guys got to go check out the college football show there. We already brought up Louisville. That's also on that same list. There's a couple others that I've been looking at. Looking at West Virginia. Maybe that's the Mountaineers bowl game. Oklahoma does need the win, though, to become bowl eligible, which is crazy that comment is even coming out of my mouth. Just 5 wins on the season for the Sooners. Maybe they, after losing to CT's Baylor Bears last week, maybe they don't have much left in the tank. But we'll see if I end up getting to the window with them. But one team that I am going to get to the window with, Chris kind of touched on the game a little bit as far as the Big Ten West goes. And I'm going to take Purdue here. Now, Illinois, by all means, couldn't believe they lost that game. I did have Sparty at, I think I was like 11.5 on my list. But obviously all that suspension information came out and kind of went haywire. They closed -17. Of course, Sparty wins outright, right? That's how this works. Illinois, on paper, they look great. Number 1 pass defense in the nation. But who have they played? Wyoming, Indiana, Wisconsin, Iowa. Come on, they don't play teams to throw the ball downfield. And you know who throws the ball downfield? Sparty. You know who else throws the ball downfield? Purdue. I'm going to take Purdue just under a touchdown, 6.5 here. I think this team has a lot of fight in them. I know this isn't Illinois' bubble burst game, but they just lost as a double-digit favorite. And I do think that is kind of bringing them back down to reality. Just a smidge. I like Jeff Brom. I do bet against him as a favorite, but I love him as an underdog. He's been very good to me over the last few years. So I'm going to take Purdue here as my best bet on this show.
I like it, Kelly. Purdue Boilermakers. They played competitive on the road for sure. That was one we broke down on the best college football show out there on the Wager Talk YouTube channel with Vino and Ralph Michaels. So yeah, they were lining up on it as well as I. Guys, tease it at the top. Baylor, Kansas State. Kelly, giving you some props there. Going to go against you in this one. Baylor Bears was on them last week. Riding this train, guys. The trend is your friend. And Baylor has been a great bet on team. I think they're underrated. Of course, big game going against Kansas State. The winner has a track here to make the Big 12 championship game. Baylor, definitely, if they win. And their quarterback Shapen, if you remember, about a month ago, they were on a primetime game at West Virginia. He took kind of a cheap shot, went down, changed the game. He came back, and ever since he's come back, they've won 3 straight, both straight up and against the spread, playing really good football. Kansas State, I know they look good against Oklahoma State. That last time I went against them, definitely took it on the chin, lost 48-0, lost by the spread by 46.5. So going back to the well here, up against KIVs, the Fighting Kelly and Vegases of Kansas State, but still, I think Baylor at home, -2 in the hook. Got to win by a field goal and we cash it. Baylor's the side for me. So Kelly and CT bets will be at the game. Check them out if you're near Waco. CT.
Drew, real quick. I'll be at Circa Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So if you're around, I'm going to drag some of the Wager Talk guys out. Ski's going to hang out one day. Joe D'Amico, we're going to the UNLV game. So just hit us up. We'll be around. I think Danny Dimes is going to be there. If you saw that episode, we had him on the show. We'll definitely be watching 49ers Chargers coming back from the Raiders game. So we'll probably be all banged up. So we'll buy you a few drinks. Come hang out with us.
Banged up? You use that word
that's
too?
That's a Chris term. That's a Chris term.
Whacking, banged. I said a couple. I pounding. Kill or be killed. There's a lot of Chris euphemisms.
Kill or be killed. That's Trigger and I's motto. Words to live by, Drew.
Get off the tracks when the train's coming through. Heard that one said before.
That's
all of those words.
Oh boy.
At CT Bets on 16. You could probably see some of those tweeted out late on Saturday night. Who knows? CT Bets, take it away, man. You're gonna have fun this weekend. What do you got for best bets? Final thoughts for the show.
All right, Drew. Well, gonna try and go 2-0 again. Last week, big game breakdown and best bet cash, both in college. I'm going back to the NFL for my best bet, and it's an ugly one, so get prepared. It's the game of the week, Sunday, 4:25 Eastern, the Dallas Cowboys at the reeling Green Bay Packers. Talk about a buy low spot for the Packers. Woof. I am going to back the Pack this weekend, even after they only scored 9 points against the worst defense in the league last Sunday. It truly seems like Aaron Rodgers doesn't care and that he's just going through the motions here. But I think this Sunday we're going to see a spark in him, Drew. And I think the Pack will be ready to go. Rodgers, he's never lost 6 straight games in his career. And he's 1-0 all time after he's lost 5 straight here. This is the largest dog roll for the Pack at Lambeau Field since Rodgers made his first ever start in 2008. And the Packers are also 4-1 against the spread against the Cowboys in their last 5. I think we're going to see some fight in this Packers team. They're going to get the running game that was non-existent last weekend back up and running. Look for Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon to be solid this weekend. Lazard will be better. He only caught 4 of his 10 targets last Sunday. I think they win on the field, Drew. Packers plus 5.5 is my best
Chris,
bet.
that's absolutely disgusting. I'm with you, but I am going to do it as well. I need to go take a shower now, but I'd like to fact check that. They were actually double-digit dogs with Seneca Wallace. I know because I took the points, and they got obliterated.
Oh, gosh. Seneca Wallace, good Big 12 name there. I believe
Yeah,
he's taking
talk
snaps.
about having some
State.
PTSD, taking the Packers, catching points at home. Me, I will never forget that one. Worst bet I've ever made in my life.
Well, let's go Pack.
Let's go Pack. Absolutely. Anything else before we shut this down, guys? We good to roll?
Yeah, I think we're good to go. I played a game tonight. It's not my play. If you guys want something, I played Northern Illinois -1 tonight. It's an ugly game, but it's somebody I respect a lot. So if you're looking for a little action, I played it pretty small.
I am on it as well. I think I have it as, was it a pick'em earlier? I think that's what I'm in for. But yeah, I'm with you there. Some good old Maction. I can't even name a quarterback. Can't name a player. Doesn't matter.
Oh, someone asked Trig, do you like UNLV? I'm assuming he's talking about UNLV football Friday night. I would take the points there. I think that's the game
you're going to, right? Not a basketball game?
No. I'm going to UNLV Dayton, top 25 Dayton, A10, odds on favorite to win the A10. That's on Tuesday. Friday night, UNLV football plays San Diego State and Fresno State. And not a huge opinion for me, but I do think it's too many points. So I like trying to answer the question.
I lean with them as well. There was a moral victory of sorts versus San Diego State. Had the opportunity to win that game for me. I had them in my 3-team parlay. Couldn't get it done. They still have an opportunity to go bowling. So UNLV needs to get some things clicking here over the next couple weeks.
Huge shout out to everybody watching us live on Twitter, the 50 people, over 250 on YouTube as well. If you could smash that like button, feel free to reply below. That does help us out. Again, guys, check out vivatequilaseltzer.com. If you use the coupon code HUSTLE at checkout, it takes 10% off your order. Get it shipped to you. CT, before we close it down, what do we got?
One last thing, I always forget to plug this at the end of the show. But I did start a Instagram page for us at Hustle Show Pod, posting some pictures from last weekend when Kelly and Brett were up here. I'll be posting pictures from Waco this weekend. If you could give us a follow along. I'm not very good with social media, but I'm getting better. So if you want to follow and give us a shout, that's great.
Yeah, and Carrie says you guys should touch on NCAA basketball more. Carrie, we absolutely will. It's just an awful slate tonight. There's barely any games. I threw out Wright State +4. It's the best thing I could find on the card.
Yeah, definitely on the list for the weeks going forward, guys. 6:00 Eastern time on the WagerTalk YouTube channel, wherever you're downloading your podcasts at. The Hustle Show Podcast. Kelly Stewart, Adam Trigger, CT Bets. I am Drew Martin. Guys, cash those tickets. We'll be back next week. Thanks for tuning in.